Stephen A., I am definitely, for your interest here, not okay with this. I thought you kept telling me Nick Saban's the best coach in college football. Why would he need Kirby Smart to coach his defense? I thought, silly me, all along that Nick Saban's forte was coaching defense. I thought he was sort of the unofficial defensive coordinator, to the point that I thought Kirby Smart might be a little overrated. He's the enemy now. He's the head coach of Georgia. Let him go. Let him go recruit. Let him go do whatever he has to do to try to revive Georgia's chances, because it is a recruiting pipeline, of beating, dare I say, Alabama. Who cares about Kirby Smart? Although I must point out to you that when we talk about Kirby Smart and Nick Saban's defensive genius or prowess, if you will, I look back at the last 3 years and I think, really? I mean, Nick Saban, he coaches some of the defense anyway. He's the overseer of the defense. And I go back 2 years to, they gave up 42 to Johnny Manziel. They gave up 34 to Auburn in the kick six game. Then they gave up 45 to my Oklahoma Sooners in the Sugar Bowl. Trevor Knight, 45 points. Then last year, 44 to Auburn. They did win the game 55 to 44. Then 42 in the national semifinal to Ohio State and lost that game. And I bring this up again. It might be a little unfair, but they gave up 37 at home to Ole Miss. I know there were 5 turnovers involved, but still, the defense gave up 37 points in a home loss to Ole Miss this year. So I'm not sure the combination of them has been great on defense. So Nick Saban should just roll up his sleeves and get back to work. Coach his defense the way he's always coached defense. Let Kirby Smart go. Is he that big a deal? I don't get it.
Well, you know what the problem is with you, Skip Bayless? I mean, you're very detached from kids, and what you don't do is you don't think about the kids. That's right.
Oh.
I'm getting ready to explain why. There are college kids that you recruit, kids that you've been working with all season long, and so as a result, you've got one game left. Okay, which is really two. It should be two, you know, because you got January 1st and then you got January 11th. It's in a month, 30 days, and that's it. Now, I'm usually with you. Please don't get me wrong. As far as I'm concerned, if you are about to be out and you getting ready to go to the enemy because you're no longer a teammate, what the hell you sticking around for? Leave now. Don't waste time. Go, bounce. See you when we see you, because you ain't trying to help us win anymore. So I'm totally down with that. Please don't get me wrong. But I think there are exceptions to every rule. And the exception to every rule would be when you've been spending a whole bunch of time coaching college kids. Now, if you're sitting around and you accept this job because Mark Richt loses the job in October, and midstream Georgia comes calling you and you feel compelled to take this job with about 5 games left on the schedule or something like that, that's an entirely different ballgame. But Mark Richt getting fired at the end of the regular season and all you having on your docket is a bowl game, it's not beyond the realm of comprehension. In fact, we've seen it on many occasions where we've looked at guys who are en route to another job that would stick around to coach a bowl game, or in this case, 2, because of the new college football playoff system. That's all that's going on here. You've been here 8 years. You've helped recruit some of these kids. You've been coaching them the whole time, and then they've got what may be the biggest game of some of their careers coming up, first against Michigan State and then quite possibly against Oklahoma, even though Clemson obviously is in the mix too, and you only got a max of 2 games left. There's absolutely positively nothing wrong with him staying on board. He's got a good relationship with Nick Saban. He obviously has a lot of faith in the man. He's kept him around for the last 8 years. They've lost 3 games 1 year, and that year was 2010. At no other time have they lost more than 2 games in a season. Most of the time it's just 1, and at least once they've gone undefeated. That was with this man as the defensive coordinator. And you're trying to tell me you take him and you say you with the enemy now, get the hell on out of here because you decided to take this job?
Yes.
That's not that makes no sense whatsoever. No sense. And it doesn't, because of what I said. Again, if we're talking about a job, you know, a 9 to 5 or a job like this or some regular job on Wall Street or something like that, you know, I get that. But you're talking about where you're dealing with kids whose homes you went into to recruit, whose parents you promised to take care of them. It's just a bowl game that's left. That's all that's left.
Yeah,
What's the problem? What's again, possibly 2 unless they lose to Michigan State, which is possible. So the point is that's all you got left. What's wrong with him staying on board? I think you come across as very detached, and you're just thinking about, if I'm Saban, I don't want him. You're not thinking about anybody but Saban. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the way to look at this.
Are you telling me that Nick Saban needs Kirby Smart to beat Michigan State?
I'm saying that any head coach needs a defensive coordinator that they spent an entire season relying upon. I don't care who it is. If you've been relying on the man all of these months, how the hell are you going to sit there and take additional responsibility on your shoulders with the Christmas is 2 weeks away? A week after that, you got a game. And if you're lucky enough to win that, you've got a championship game in 10 days after that. To sit there and jump ship under those circumstances is leaving the head coach, the kids, and the entire program at a disadvantage, which you don't do. Skip Bayless might do that. Nobody else is thinking like that.
Forgive my kid-hating self here, but
is it
possible that Kirby Smart might be a little distracted over the next 3 weeks? He might be making recruiting calls at night when he should be studying tape. You ever thought of that?
Well, you could sit there and say that, but what I would say to you is it's more of the same. He's instilling and implementing the same things that he's been doing. So it's not like, oh, my God, he's around the kids 24/7. What's wrong with him picking up the phone and calling a few kids in the meantime? There's nothing wrong with that as long as he's there.
Alabama kids, Georgia kids. He loves them all. I love Kirby Smart.
I love the kids.
He's a champion of kids everywhere.
And by the way, and that's right, and he deserves it. You think he wants to walk away from a shot to win a championship, another championship as a defensive coordinator? You think he wants that?
I would. If I were the head coach of Georgia.
You're special. You're special.
Okay.
You're definitely special.
That's true. I'll second
Everybody
that
ain't you. Everybody ain't you.
Okay, so in case you haven't noticed, we keep it real here on First Take, folks. Up next, Jerry Colangelo has been hired as 76ers advisor. Are Skip and Stephen A. feeling this move? Don't go anywhere.
You gotta stay focused.